tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today we will study four variations. Vacīkamma. So we have 10 causes of unwholesome action, right? So we already finished 3 bodily unwholesome actions. We discussed details. So today we'll talk about 4 variations. Vacīkamma. So telling lie, musāvāda. Slandering, pisuṇavācā. And hard speech, pharusavācā. And distracted talk, sampapalapa. Telling lie, slandering, hard speech, distracted talk. In the 5 precepts, you have only number 1, right? You refrain from telling a lie, musāvāda. It literally means you can do the other 3. No, right? No. So by taking musāvāda, it includes all, no? 4 in 1. 4 in 1. It's very important. People think that you just refrain from telling a lie. No. So you need to refrain from all. Musāvāda means including slandering, hard speech, distracted talk, right? Distracted talk. So therefore, in Myanmar, if you are observing 8 precepts, so it is suggested not to walk on that day. You totally take a rest and go to the monasteries. So in that way, you can refrain from all these ones. If you're walking, not easy. It's not easy to observe everything. Okay, so these are the 4 variations that we are going to study. These 4 are the variations. They generally occur through the door of the speech. Generally, we are talking about in general. That's very important. In general, these actions also be done by showing bodily gestures. Sometimes we tell lie by using our body, right? Our body, our hand. Do you have any money? I want to borrow. I don't have, You have a lot of money, That kind of telling a lie. Even though you are not talking with your mouth, it's a kind of telling a lie. Like that, right? And also slandering, or hard speech, and also unpleasant speeches. Normally we use our mouth, right? Sometimes also we use our body also, right? Body also by showing unpleasant manner. So these are the considered as the variations. Even in such cases, they are still considered as the variations. So therefore, in social media, we call it hate speech, right? Hate speech. You are not speaking with the mouth. You're writing by using your hand, right? It's connected with the hand. Normally, we can call it bodily actions, but it's not. But they call it hate speech, right? Hate speech. So therefore, all these four generally occur through the door of the speech, but sometimes they can occur through the door of the body, like a writing on social media, like that, right? So generally talking. So refraining from these four actions is called right speech in the Noble Eightfold Path. In the Noble Eightfold Path, if you refrain from these four verbal actions, you are practicing right speech. You are practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. You are on the way to Nibbana. On the way to Nibbana, right? Keeping precept means you are practicing on the way to Nibbana, on the way to Nibbana. Refraining from 3 bodily unwholesome actions and 4 verbal unwholesome actions, altogether 7, right? Altogether 7. Connected with your livelihood, connected with your job. It's called right livelihood. You are not telling lie in your job. You are not slandering. You are not using harsh speeches. You are not using destructive speeches in your work. And you are not doing any bodily unwholesome actions in your job. That is right livelihood in the Noble Eightfold Path. Right? So when we are studying meditation, we have to learn in details. Okay, up to now, question? Any question? No question. Okay. Then the first one, telling lie, musāvāda. I will quote the Pali from Chonda Sutta. No? Here, someone speaks falsehood. If he is summoned to a council, to an assembly, to his relatives present, to his guild, or to the court, and questioned as a witness does. Anywhere, it means anywhere. Just the Buddha just give some example. Anywhere. So, good man, tell what you know. Then, not knowing, he says, I know. And knowing, he says, I do not know. Not seeing, he says, I see. Or seeing, he says, I do not see. Thus, he consciously speaks falsehood, consciously, knowingly, on purpose. Sambhajana musa, for his own end, for another's end, for some traveling worldly end. So that means for yourself or for your parent, for your friend, etc. Right? You are telling a lie. I think no need to explain, right? Quite clear, no need to explain. Okay. So here, you have to take note this one consciously. Sometimes you may speak without any purpose, right? Without any purpose. You don't have any motivation. But even when we are teaching, right? Sometimes we may make mistakes. I want to say something, but on the slip of tongue, right? Slip of the tongue, I may use other things. So this is a one sutta I usually quote. Bhikkhus, one possessing three qualities, is deposited in head as if brought there. Connected with the telling line, one speaks falsely, one say to one say, encouraging others, encourages others to speak falsely and approve for speaking falsely. So by looking at this one, we will know the the factors, right? Three factors. We do ourselves, we encourage others to do so, then we approve of it. We approve of it. This is a commentary explanation. Commentary explanation. Telling lie is the volition or motivation to commit speaking falsehood. So here, therefore, the Buddha said, Chetanaham bhikkhve kamma vadami. The volition is karma, right? The volition is karma. Motivation is karma. There are four factors to complete musāvāda. Number one, falsehood must be wrong. And having a volition to deceive others, you must have a volition to deceive others. That's also very making an effort. But here, even number two, you are making unwholesome actions. No? You are making unwholesome actions. It is important. But here, four-factor me, we call it kammapata, the cause of karma, which is very strong. You know, it can make you, the cause of karma to have a happy destination. You know, a happy destination. Number two, volition to deceive others, making an effort, and accepted as a truth by the listener. The listener accepted what you say as a truth. Only these four are completed, then you're committing telling line according to commentaries. Any question? No question, right? Okay. Previous week I sent is suttas called Ambalatika Raulovada Sutta. This sutta talk about, actually I want to take only a few paragraphs from this suttas. So the Buddha talk about telling a lie to Rahula, a young novice. You know, Rahula is his son. So by that time, 7 years old, and he ordained in Kapilavatthu under the guidance of Venerable Sariputta, and he accompanied the Buddha to Rajagaha. Rajagaha is another big city, and in Rajagaha mainly we have two big monasteries. One is Veluvana monasteries. People normally go there and listen to the Dhamma. Another monastery called is the Ambalatika monasteries. In English it means mango grove monastery. There may be a lot of mangoes. So that monastery is a little bit far from the town, quiet. Those who want to meditate, they normally go to that monastery and spend there. The Buddha normally prays the monks who go there and practice meditation. The Buddha prays. A young Rahula hear that, and he think that if he go there, the Buddha will praise him. Thinking that, he went to Ambalatika monasteries and stay there. And the Buddha knew that. and the Buddha went there. When the Buddha visited Rahula Kuti, and Rahula welcomed the Buddha, and he gave water cap to the Buddha, because by that time the Buddha and monks, they do not wear the shoes. They go barefoot. So therefore, before they enter the monastery, they need to wash their feet. So Rahula gave water cap to the Buddha, and the Buddha threw almost all the water, only a few water left in the cap. The Buddha told Rahula, Rahula, did you see a little water in the cap? Yes, the Buddha. 7 years old, 7 years old. Samanera. Yes, the Buddha is a little water in the water cap. Then the Buddha said that, like that. It's someone who tear the line deliberately. He have only a few the practice of the monk, the practice of the monks. Then the Buddha threw all the water. No more water in the cap, Then the Buddha said to Rahula, Rahula, did you see any water here? No, Bhante. Like that, the monks who tear the line deliberately, no more practice. No more practice. Then the Buddha put the water, empty water cap upside down, upside down. Did you see that? Rahula, did you see that? Yes, Bhante. Like that, the monks who tear the line, his practice of the monk, his training, as a monk, upside down. Then the Buddha turned the water cap again. No more water. It's empty. So like that, if the monk is telling a lie deliberately, then his training practice as a monk empty. So, as a Buddhist monk, as a monastic, or as a spiritual leader, it is important to tell the truth, not to tell lie. So the Buddha highlight these suttas. Then the Buddha taught to Rahula, Rahula, when one is not ashamed to tell a deliberate lie, there is no evil I say that one would not do. That's very important, right? We should refrain from telling a lie. If somebody is telling a lie, he will not have any. He will not have anything that he dare not to do. So we have to be very careful about the one who is telling a lie. So therefore, the Buddha said, therefore, Rahula, you should train this. I will not utter a falsehood, even as a joke. Even as a joke. Sometimes we joke, right? It's not truth. Sometimes we make a joke. Normally, right? When we are meeting with the friends, we make a joke. You may think that it's not serious, right? It's not serious. No. According to the Buddha, no, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that. Okay, so this is a interesting sutta. In that sutta, the Buddha also talk about how to practice, how to think our bodily, verbal, and mental actions. Before we do something, we have to think about it. While we are doing, after we have done, right? We have to think about it carefully. We have to contemplate on that. Even if we make a mistake, so we have to confess under our teacher or our friends, then trying to refrain from it, not to do it again. Interesting sutta. Here, I want to highlight two things. Here is when one is not ashamed, no shame. Shamelessness is one of the unwholesome mental factors, right? In the Abhidhamma, we have 40 unwholesome mental factors. Shamelessness is one of them. Shamelessness. We are doing unwholesome thing because of shamelessness, right? Shamelessness. Because of that shamelessness, we tell lie, right? We tell lie. Then I want to quote one sutta, so not one sutta, one stanza from Dhammapara. So we have one question. We have 5 precepts. Which one is more serious? Which one is most dangerous among the 5? That's a question. Huh? What is your question? What is your... Huh? Musāvāda. Huh? Sorry? Musāvāda, right? Musāvāda. No, I should ask before I show the slide. Because it's interesting, right? Normally people may think that killing is the most serious and dangerous 5 precepts. Among the 5 precepts. In earlier sutta, I quoted drinking alcohol, right? After drinking alcohol, you make all the wrongdoings. You break the other 4 precepts. If we quote that sutta, drinking alcohol is a kind of the most dangerous and serious. I think that it is looking from different point of view, right? Different point of view. But I think musāvāda is the most dangerous. Because normally after doing unwholesome thing, we normally tell lie, right? Like a baby, right? After doing wrong things, they do not, apologize, or they do not accept, right? They tend to tell lie. So therefore, this is one verse we normally quote. Among the 5 precepts, telling lie is the most distracted, wrongdoing. So there is no evil deed that cannot be done by the liar, who transgress the truth, who is unconcerned with the life hereafter. So that is the verse from Dhammapara. When we quote Ambalatika Raulo Vada earlier sutta, also we can understand, right? Musāvāda is the most serious one. The most serious one. Anyone who knows the story of Chintamana? Have you ever heard of the story of Chintamana? Huh? The one who pretend pregnant before the Buddha, right? The Buddha is preaching the Dhamma, and she came and she pretend as if pregnant with the Buddha, right? He accused, and Gautama, look at me, I got pregnant with you. Now you pretend as a saint, saint, right? As a saint. Actually, she was asked by her teachers to how to say to tarnish, the reputation of the Buddha. So therefore, she make a plot. She pretend as a pregnant woman and come to the Buddha and accuse, among the audience, saying that she is pregnant with the Buddha, and the Buddha calmly taught to her, vacīkamma. In this case, you and me are the most, the one who know the most. Then vacīkamma became, shaken, So the Buddha faced it with the calmness, right? In our chanting, we have a chanting verse. What is Chainchaya, Dota Vachana Janakaya Mache, Sandena, Soma, Vidina, like that, right? Actually, I cannot. Right now, I cannot recite. So then later, of course, according to commentary, the king of the deva came down and pretend as a wreck. They trying to cut all the rope and all the clothes. Then, the clothes and rope drop from there. So this, how to say, the sea is uncovered, Then vacīkamma ran away. Then she was absorbed by the ground. Actually, I'm bad in talking a story. I cannot talk. So if you want to know, you can go to Dhammapara verse number 176. So you can go to how to say the story of this Dhammapara verse number 176. So actually, the Buddha want to highlight importance of telling a lie. So the liar, normally he dare to do any unwholesome deed, right? The one who refrain from telling a lie, so that means he is afraid to do unwholesome deed. That show the seriousness of avoiding unwholesome, telling a lie. Okay, so and the Buddha talk about the result of telling a lie. False speech, repeatedly pursued, developed, and cultivated is conducive to woeful plains. For one reborn as a human being, it's telling a lie, at max minimum, conduces to false accusation. I forgot to change the stealing. This one is correct, false accusation. Not a stealing, this one is telling a lie, For one reborn as a human being, the telling a lie at minimum conduces to false accusation. So here, this is the result of telling a lie. If you tell lie repeatedly, if you are doing it again and again, it may cause rebirth in woeful plains. If you become as a human being, you may encounter false accusation. You may lose, especially you will lose trust from other people, right? So people will not believe you. So that is the result of telling a lie. Okay. Then here is abstinence from telling a lie from Pali Canon. It's Pali Canon. Here, someone have been abandoned for speech, abstain from false speech, if he is summoned to a council, to assembly, to his relative present, to his guild, or to the court, question as a witness thus, so good man, tell what to know, then not knowing, he says, I do not know. Or knowing, he says, I know. Not seeing, he says, I do not see. Or seeing, he says, I see. Thus, he does not consciously speak falsehood for his own end, for another's end, for some tripling worldly end. So here, it's not easy to tell the truth, right? As a lay person, you know better, right? You know very well. So most people tell lie, one way or another. But the most important thing is not to do it again and again, repeatedly. Some people, so they do not care, right? They right way tell lie. Maybe including making a promise. You will come 10 o'clock. That's your promise, right? Then you came 10:30. But Singaporean, you're very, very good at, how to say, punctual, yeah. Singaporean, you're very careful about punctuality. So you trying to be punctual. It's very good habit, right? Very good habit. But normally, some people, they do not punctual, right? They promise to come 10 o'clock, then they came late, and the other party have to wait for a long time, Kind of telling a lie, Kind of telling a lie. There are many cases, right? Then you will lose trust from other people. So it's not easy to tell lie all the time, but sometimes we need to use, people normally say, right, white lie, white lie. Later I will discuss about that. Maybe some people may want to ask. So I will talk about it in later part. So this is for lay person, This is for lay person. Here I want to on for monastics, for monks and nuns, In other words, especially for spiritual teachers, not only monks and nuns, but also Dhamma teachers. I will say that Dhamma teachers, for those who are teaching the Dhamma. Because regarding with the killing, whether lay person or monastics, no different. So we have to refrain from it, right? Regarding with adinadana, stealing, there is a difference. I have already talked about it, right? As a lay person, you can ask somebody if he gives, then you can take it. As a monk, I cannot ask, Kevin, can I get your computer? I cannot, right? Because he didn't invite me. So as a monk, I cannot. That's a different. So there are some other different also. I have already talked about it. So regarding with sexual misconduct, as a lay person, you can have a sexual relationship with your spouse, but as a monk, totally refrain from any sexual activities. And regarding with the telling lie, there's a different, right? As a lay person, you tell the truth. You're not telling a lie. That's all, right? That's all. So this is for monastics. From Samanyaphala Sutta. Have been abandoned for speech, he abstained from for speech. Even though the Buddha used the word he, it refers to anyone, It's very important. He speaks only the truth. He adheres to truth, trustworthy and reliable. So monastic as in monastics or Dharma teachers speaks only the truth, adhere to the truth, must be trustworthy and reliable. He does not deceive the world. The world here means people. It means he does not deceive anyone in the world. So here is very straight, right? Must adhere to the truth, must be reliable, and also trustworthy. He do not try to deceive other people. It must be for that reason. Generally, spiritual leaders are reliable. Generally talking. So therefore, in Christianity, people go to the priest, right? They confess their wrongdoings because they must be reliable and trustworthy. If they misuse your information, people will not go there, right? People will not go there. Similarly, people come to Buddhist monk and they discuss their matters. They must be trustworthy. Do not talk to other people, right? Suppose somebody come to me and talk about their problem. Then I talk to other people. Not safe for the people, right? One way or another, people will know later. Wow, this Monday. telling about me, to other people, lost trust. So therefore, as a spiritual leader or monastics must be trustworthy. I think that's a different, right? That's a, different between, monastics and lay person. Okay. So this is a telling a lie. Any question? No question, right? We'll go to next one. Slandering, pisuṇavācā. So this is what the Buddha taught. He speaks divisively. As I earlier said that when you are observing 5 precepts, you have to observe all the 4 verbal actions. That's very important. Having heard something here, he repeats it as well, in order to divide those people from these. Suppose I will give you an example. Having heard something from Mangala Vihara, then you repeat it somewhere else. So actually here, motivation, volition is in order to divide. That's very important. That's the most important one. Sorry. Motivation is the most important in order to divide, right? In order to divide those people from these. You heard something from Mangala Vihara. Actually here, division means between 2 people, between 2 groups or 2 organizations, to country, right? Like that. So here, you hear something from Mangala Vihara, you repeat it somewhere in order to divide between Mangala Vihara and other temple, or people from Mangala Vihara and people from that temple. Your motivation, right, to divide two temples or people from those temples. That's your motivation. So then only slandering. You hear the Dhamma from here, you repeat it somewhere. Your motivation is not to divide people, right? So that is a different. In order to divide those people. Similarly, having heard something as well, he repeats it to those people in order to divide them from those. You heard something from another temple and you repeat it to management committee in Mangala Vihara. Two temples get angry, like that. A kind of slandering. Sometimes you need to, there are some information you shouldn't share, right? You shouldn't share. Among the friends, I think it's very important, right? Sometimes, even though we know weaknesses of other people, so we shouldn't share, right? We shouldn't share. Sometimes some patients, they don't want to share their news, what happened to them. And we have to, listen to them, right? Listen to them. We have to, we have to respect their, we have to respect their, desire, right? Desire. So this is a slandering. So there are three friends. Suppose there are three friends. You're trying to divide the other two people, two friends. That's also slandering. Thus, he is one who divide, those are united. Two of your friends are united, they left each other. Because of your work, your slandering, they are divided. It is authentic. It is authentic. A creator of division, one who enjoys fashions. Because you may have a lot of friends, right? Two friends are very friendly, very close. You cannot go into their place. For that reason, you're trying to make a division between two people. Then one of them will come to you. You became friend. So that's the reason why slandering is very dangerous, One who enjoys fashions, rejoices in fashions, delights in fashions. Speaker of words that create fashions. Actually, the Buddha trying to, describe what is slandering, what is pisuṇavācā. So therefore, I think it's better to learn commentary explanation. Slandering is the volition to make division among people or group by using malicious speeches. So there are 4 factors to complete the art of slandering, pisuṇavācā. Number 1, the thought of dividing others. You have a thinking to divide other people. having a relation to divide others and to win the affection of others. That's two things, very important one. The idea is, the motivation is, you want to divide two people. Not only that, you want to get affection from one of them, one of them. That's the idea. When you look at the country, when you look at the politics, same thing, right? It's happening, The countries are struggling, You can look at American, you can look at Russia, you can look at China, right? So they are trying to divide countries, just to divide the country and just to win, affection from those countries for their benefit, right? Benefit. Most of the country. So they are trying to commit slandering, You can look at, right? When you look at politics, it's quite clear, right? Quite clear. Making an effort, being understood by the listeners. So, of course, if you have a relation to divide other people, it is unwholesome deed, but not so serious yet. When you make an effort, when the listener make it as a truth and understand what you are saying, that is, it became slandering, full causal actions. So therefore, because of your actions, if they are divided, it becomes a full causal action, kamapata, which give rise to great effect. If not divided, it is just a bad deed. It is also unwholesome deed, but it's not serious as division. Similarly, when you're looking at politics, right? Some big countries, so they are trying to divide, small countries. They are trying to win, the cooperation of those countries. If the countries are divided, it is slandering. One way or another, it will affect to the country, right? To the country. Okay. Then, any question? Okay. Oh, a lot of question. Start from the back, at the back, over there.
Hi, evening, Bante. Just to check, if one were to speak the truth, and if the truth were to divide people, or the truth is harsh, would that still be considered as breaching the 5 precepts?
The truth.
Yeah, but the
It's
truth
harsh.
hurts, harsh, and sometimes it divides people.
Divide people. I think this question is very deep. But as in later part, I will come to that, Very good question. It is truth, it's harsh, it makes division. Whether it is unwholesome, right? Okay, later. Question.
Good evening, Pandey. How about someone working in the sales? I realize that salespeople like to divide their product. My product is better than this. So do you consider this as a slandering? It's making an effort, being understood by the listener, and to win the affection of others. So what do you classify this?
People want to say, this is number one. That's a problem. Or number one. Number one in Singapore like that, right? Number one in Singapore like that. Of course, if you are number one, you can say so. You can say so. If you are number one in Singapore, we are number one, like that. If your product is the best, it's considered is a considered as the best, you can say so. But of course, it's the best not to harm, not to harm other company. So actually, normally people know that if you are harming other, people may not like it. So in U.S., I think some of you may know that in U.S. there is a well-known Christian priest. I forgot his name. He never criticized other people. He just did what he want. Therefore, people like him. I think. So when I listen to him, it's really not only, of course, sometimes we need to compare two things, If we are criticizing other people without any hatred, without any intention to harm those people. But of course, sometimes if we are criticizing without any necessary or without unnecessarily, if you are criticizing, it's also not good, right? Not good. The best thing is not to criticize others, if possible. Only it is not possible, we can do so. Yeah. Okay.
Good evening, Bhante. I've asked this before, so I forgot. Can you please explain to me what is making an effort?
Making an effort means you make an effort to slander.
That means you complete the action.
Oh, no, not yet. You're trying to tear one party, or this one is telling about you so and so, and you tear the other person, and the other way. Your friend is talking about ill of you, bad things about you, like that. So you are making an effort, but only the listener understand what you say. Then they make division, they are divided. Then only it became the cause of actions.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Alice here.
Bhante, are those actors and actresses in their nature of work lying?
Very good question, Very good question. Some actors and actresses, they have ethic. They are not advertising harmful products like a cigarette, alcohol, right? But most actors and actresses, they don't care. They don't care about money, right? So actually in Buddhist teaching, we don't have a very good image for the actress and actors. The reason is, they are most of the, they are encouraging the Orient to do, they're trying to encourage arousing, the mind of the Orient. Most of the movie and most of the advertisement, arousing human mind to go to wrong direction. When you look at social media, you will see, right? A lot of gaming, a lot of pornography like that, right? There are a lot of arousing human mind, you know. Even social media, they purposely doing that by using adult addresses. So therefore, the mind is very important. Some attas and addresses, they have ethics, you know. They're trying to look at the impact of their acting. So we have to look at based on their actions. Is there a question? Okay.
Good evening, Bhante. My question is probably quite similar. If I'm in the positions to think that if I'm telling the truth, I know it will cause a division. But not telling the truth, it will not cause division, but is it a lie? So in this position, what should I do?
So can you repeat?
If I'm telling the truth, I'm quite sure that a division will happen.
Division will happen,
Yeah.
okay?
If I'm not going to tell the truth, division will not happen, but is it a lie from me?
It is a lie.
Yeah, is it considered lying from my side?
Or it's a kind of telling, you know, what you are referring to a kind of white lie, I think, right? Kind of. If you, sorry,
Yeah, I think probably yes. Is it white lie?
probably.
For example, I think probably an example is probably easier. For example, if you see an external affair, for example, of your friends, then for example, if you tell the truth, it may cause a division. The husband and wife maybe got divorced, right? But you keep it. If you don't tell, that means they will just go along. But then it is something that you're keeping the truth. So
Or you are not telling anything.
yeah.
They were
So
not
should
divided.
you tell?
Oh. If you tell the truth, then they will be separated. Divorce, right? Divorce. It's very hard, right? Therefore, I think people, is your choice. Hinting. No, it's okay.
The truth is not beneficial,
Mm.
so don't have to say it.
The truth is not beneficial, therefore we shouldn't say it.
Or wait for the right time to say it.
I think the wait for the right time, only if necessary. And don't forget that upekha, equanimity, sabbe satta kammasaka, all beings are own their own karma. But of course, it's necessary if we know that it is at the right time, we can take. Very hard one, right? Very hard one. The right time here me. Suppose husband and wife. Husband is very malicious and having an affair with another lady. And he is abusing, his wife. And he having a good time with another lady, then if you know that, and also the lady who was abused, timid, afraid, and a lot of, a lot of psycho, a lot of psycho. And if you know that she want to get divorced, then you can tell. Right? If she want to divorce. even if she does not divorce. It's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. If you think that the lady can stand as a single mother, if you really know being a single mother is better for her, probably I think you can suggest. You can. Very hard, you know. So therefore, people normally say, do not go between husband and husband and wife. You know. And also, we shouldn't forget that all beings are on our own karma, right? Sometimes we need to practice equanimity. We know, you know, but we shouldn't interfere like that, right? Especially in the West, there are very, very good protection for, right? All these cases with the law. So then we'll go next one, hard speech. Because we are discussing, even though we didn't finish all, you know. Hard speech, pharusavācā. Then the Buddha said, he speaks harshly. He utters such words as a wrath, hard, harmful to others, offensive to others, bordering on anger, and conducive to concentration. Sometimes, if you are telling something before you come to class, you cannot concentrate what I'm talking, right? You may be thinking what you heard before you come to class, you know. So therefore, before your children go to class, you know, you shouldn't make any disappointing things like that, right? Before they take exam, make sure that you do not make any disappointment to your children like that. So here, I think very clear, right? So here the Buddha used harmful to others, offensive to others, bordering on anger. So here, hard speech here doesn't mean not just only unpleasant speeches. It can be pleasant speeches as well. If it is bordering on anger, you know, and also it is offensive to others. Even you say softly, nicely, sometimes it's offensive, right? Offensive. Dear Mr. Black Guy, like that. Dear Mr. Black Guy. It's offensive, right? It's offensive, like that. So, later I will talk about it according to commentary, right? Hard speech is the volition to speak unkind, offensive, unpleasant, insulting, cruel speeches. So these are the three factors to complete it. Number one, the person to be insulted. If you are insulting to animals, may not be. Of course, it is unwholesome. If you are shouting to animals, if you're shouting to trees, it's also unwholesome, right? Anger, if your anger is unwholesome deed, right? But it is not hard speech according to this. The person to be insulted, you talk about it with the inner hate and using hard speech. So this is a three factors to complete this one. Okay, so this is a commentary explanation according to the commentary of the first Abhidhamma text. We call it the exposita. Hard speech of parents are not pharusavācā if they are spoken with the good will. Sometimes the parent need to shout, right? Sometimes parent need to threaten with, how to say, parent need to, I will not say threatening, Threatening is a kind of negative word, Sometimes parents need to scold, Parents need to use strong tone to their children. But must be without anger. If you are talking with anger, it will be pharusavācā, right? Normally people say that, oh, I love my children, So therefore you are complaining. You are using, unpleasant speeches. It's not, how to say, it is pharusavācā if you're talking with the anger, right? With the anger. Of course, sometimes you need to raise your voice, Raise your voice to, how to say, to remind your children like that. But if you are talking without anger, it is not pharusavācā, according to commentary, According to commentary. Even though you are talking with a very, how to say, very strong word. Sometimes, even though the speeches are pleasant to hear, if the volition is cruel and unkind, it is considered as a pharusavācā. That's also very important, right? That somebody tell, let him rest in peace. Rest in peace, Pleasant to hear, right? It means ordering to kill him. Ordering to kill him, That is also pharusavācā. So therefore, motivation is very important. It depends on your motivation that the karma will form, The karma will form. Sometimes, some people, they normally say that I don't have any intention to divide two families because of his or her speeches. Two families are divided. Two people are divided. But normally they say that I don't have intention. On surface level, it seems to be right, but it's not so because of moha, delusion. Delusion means if somebody is deluded means not knowing whether he or she should speak, whether it is the right time to talk, whether it is the right person to talk, right? If he or she does not know, that is moha, motivation. Moha is a kind of motivation, So there are three types of motivation. Sometimes motivated by lobha, sometimes motivated by dosa, sometimes moha. That's very important, right? Sometimes we normally say ourselves, "Oh, I don't have intention to harm you, I don't have any intention to make it happen, right? To make this happen." So that's very important. If you do not know whether it is the right thing to talk, or the right time to talk, or the right person to talk. So therefore, we must have a wisdom or understanding. So then only, it will be, we can avoid pharusavācā. So this is a this is a repetition, right? Repetition. I forgot to. Oh, okay. Sorry, I need to take it out. Okay. So this is a abstinence from harsh speech. So this is very beautiful. Actually, this is what the Buddha taught. Having abandoned harsh speech, he abstained from harsh speech. He speaks such words as are gentle, pleasing to the ear. Very beautiful, right? If you are gentle, it's a kind of good deed, Don't underestimate, gentleness. If you are gentle in your speech, in your behavior, it's a good deed. Whatever you say is pleasing to hear. If you can please somebody with your speeches, there's a good deed. Monks, our good deed, we are trying to please devotees, Devotees will come. They will share their problems. Not only the problem, their success, Some people come to temple and when they are buying a new and expensive car, Bande, I want blessing from you. And we have to say, oh, very, 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 very good car, They are very happy, Pleasing to the ear, right? So, of course, if I'm telling bad car as a good car, it's a kind of telling, right? Must be sincere, I mean, what I mean is they may come to temple with a problem or with the success or certain kinds of achievement. It doesn't matter. So we have to make them please, right? It's a kind of good deed. And lovable, go to the heart. Whatever you say must go to the heart of the people. And her courteous. So here I'm trying to have some Pali word, because it's very beautiful. Haryami, the heart of the mind. It go to the mind. It go to the mind of the listeners. So here, courteous, must be courteous. Pori. So actually here, the word pura is the city state. Singapore, right? Lion city state. Purimi, people who are living in that state. So now you call it Singaporean, right? Singaporean, citizen in this country. If you follow Pali, you should call Singapore. So this is according to Pali, right? Singapore is the people, right? Not Singaporean, Singapore. Just for knowledge, right? Desired by many and agreeable to many. So what you said must be desired by many people, right? So something that you are going to talk must be desired by many people. So then only that will be abstinent from harsh speech. So when you look at these qualities, so you have to look at on your speech, whether you are gentle, what you said, it pleasing to the ear of the listeners. So you have to examine, right? But if you have all these qualities, you are accumulating a lot of good deed, right? You are accumulating a lot of good deed. If you are treating people nicely, you are doing a lot of good deed. Normally, actually, people have a lot of worry about rebirth. I think as a Singaporean, you don't need to worry. You do less unwholesome deed than wholesome deed. No need to worry, because I see that many, especially old people, they have a lot of worry. Recently, I have a call from one devotee and over 90, 95, I think. No? Actually, she is doing a lot of good deed, and she cannot come to temple. Then a kind of she want to get a guideline. I told her, no need to worry. You have a lot of good deed. You just do what you are doing. She is she cannot meditate. She just counting the beat, contemplating the quality of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. So I told her, just do what you can. No need to worry. She is not doing unwholesome deed in her life. A lot of, she's not doing serious unwholesome deed. But of course, as a human being, we may do unwholesome deed. But not that much, right? So therefore, no need to worry. Too much worry will make you unhappy, Too much worry will make you unhappy. So people from other religions, they will make use of it. They will make use of it when you grow old. Normally, as a human being, when you encounter very big, very big changes like a death. Of course, death is the big, mysterious, and how can I say? Of course, it's very serious one. What I want to say is, especially of course here, if you are learning the Dhamma, if you are coming to temple quite often, no need to worry, right? You're not doing serious and wholesome things. Even you do that, you can, compensate, or you can replace it with a wholesome deed, right? Wholesome deed. So that's what I want to say. So what I want to say here is, if you have all these qualities, you are accumulating a lot of good deed, right? Trying to nice to your family, trying to nice to your friend, to your colleague, etc., right? That's wholesome deed. That's wholesome deed. Then I want to quote one Sutta. Today I sent this Sutta, Kakacūpama Sutta. A gentle monk. The Buddha talk about this. The simile of the soul. So this Sutta also one of the famous one. Then I hope you have read it. Have you read it? Earlier I sent 2 or 3 days before, so that you have time to read. But right now I know most of the people do not read. So I just sent only today. Actually, reading the Sutta will not take long, It will take about 10 minutes or 15 minutes, that's all, So maybe sending the Sutta is a kind of reminder for you. Today you have a class. So what do you think? Sending the Sutta 2 or 3 days before or today? Today before. Sorry? Today before. Okay. I will send it. Okay. Kakacūpama Sutta, simile of the soul. So in that Sutta, Venerable Phaguna is associating with bhikkhunis so much. And when the monks are talking about bad things about bhikkhunis, Venerable Phaguna became angry. He tried to challenge to the monks. Then the monks talked to the Buddha, and the Buddha talk to the Venerable Fakuna. No, you shouldn't do that. Number one, you shouldn't associate with the bhikkhuni so much. It's not good as a monk. It's not good as a monk. And also, when somebody talk about bad things about bhikkhuni, you shouldn't get angry. So actually, finally, the Buddha talk about so many things. The Buddha gave a lot of simile in this sutta. One simile is somebody is cutting your body by using the saw, two-headed saw, two-headed saw. It will be very excruciating pain, unbearable pain, cutting your body by using the saw. But if somebody have anger to the person who is cutting your body, somebody who has anger, you are not practicing teachings of the Buddha. Very hard, right? Of course, this is the Buddha, I think, is the highest standard, highest standard. So, here is one thing to take note. It's very good one. Gentle monk, bhikkhus. Some bhikkhu is extremely gentle, extremely meek. You can imagine in your mind any monastics, any monk, or any nun. You can try to evaluate. Bhikkhus, some bhikkhu is extremely gentle, extremely meek, extremely peaceful, so long as disagreeable causes of speech do not touch him. Right? Do not touch him. But it is when disagreeable causes of speech touch him that it can be understood whether that bhikkhu is really kind, really gentle, and really peaceful. Only the problem, unpleasant speeches. Somebody is challenging you, or somebody is using unpleasant and disrespectful manner, then you will know whether he is a real gentle monk or real kind monk or real peaceful monk, right? So therefore, some problem are criteria to measure, right? To measure the compassion, gentleness, etc. Especially when you are taking a trip, you will know that, right? When you are taking a long trip, when you are associating closely, you will know that. Of course, it's not, everyone is not perfect, but to some extent, as a monastic, must be compassionate, must be gentle, must be kind, or must be peaceful. Then one thing is easy to admonish, the Buddha said. Easy to admonish is one of the teachings of the Buddha in Karaniya Sutta, Suvacha. Easy to talk, easy to talk. I do not call a bhikkhu easy to admonish or easy to talk, who is easy to admonish and make himself easy to admonish only for the sake of getting robes, alms food, a resting place, or medical requisites. So the monk or nuns who is listening to you all the time, we cannot call easy to talk or easy to admonish. He or she may be easy to admonish just because of something to get from you, right? Something to get from you. So the criteria, what you have to mature is, the Buddha said, because that bhikkhu is not easy to admonish, nor making easy to admonish when he gets no rope, no alms food, no resting place, and no medical requisites. When he or she no longer get anything from you, so you cannot talk to him or her like that, right? So, and the Buddha said that. But when a bhikkhu is easy to admonish and make himself easy to admonish because he honors, respect, and revere the Dhamma, him I call easy to admonish. The one who really respect to the Dhamma, honor to the Dhamma. Because of that, he is easy to admonish, easy to talk. So such monks only, the Buddha say, suvacā. Therefore, bhikkhus, you should train this. We shall not be easy to admonish and make ourselves easy to admonish because we honor, respect, and revere the Dhamma. That is how you should train bhikkhus. You should train bhikkhus. Not because of something you get from devotee. Even though the Buddha is talking to the monk, I think you can take it for your life as well, right? For your life as well. If you are associating with somebody, not because you are easy to admonish, easy to talk, not because of something you get, but because you listen to the Dhamma, right? You respect to the Dhamma. Okay, any question? One question if you want. Okay.
Bhante, my question is that one factor of the harsh speech is the listener must feel insulted, right? So let's say the listener is able to practice equanimity or is able to apply non-self in his daily living, therefore doesn't feel insulted. So how much karma would the speaker has in this case?
Because the listener know he inside you, right? He inside you. Know, how to say, if the listener know he was inside that, then it became maybe a kind of hard speech, right? Hard speech. The listener practice equanimity. It is another, how to say, it is the kamma of the listener. Kamma of the listener. And then speaker will have a anusan, the cause of anusan actions.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. Okay, so let's call it a day. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamuni bhagavakata kecho paragato bala vidiya samangi dan sukatan saranata mupemi ragavi ragama ninja masokan Dhamma masangata mapatikulan madurami mambagunan suvipatan Dhamma mimansara natamupemi Yata chadena Mahapalamahu Chatusu Sisu Purisa Yugesu Atacha Pogala Dhammadasate Sangami Mansara Natamupemi Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.